Hey nerds, welcome to Jerry Bear Reacts. Today we are going to recap Season 5, aka the final season of the originals. Now, with that in mind, if you guys are new here, what we do at the end of each and every season for the big shows is not not that big show. We recap the previous season, and no reaction for today. We're going to have, as the poll continues to wrap up, we're calculating the results. We're going to, we'll have a recap of this. We'll have an entire show kind of recap, kind of like we did for the Vampire Diaries. And then we'll do some extra videos, react to some old things we reacted to before, some bloopers, maybe some trailers, and we'll do a ranking of the characters live on Twitch. I don't have the exact date we're going to do that, but we will do that as well. So, if you guys are new here, feel free to subscribe for daily content. If there's a day, there is a reaction. Links will be in the description box down below for the Patreon, the Twitch stream, and everything in between. For the Patreon side of things, all 92 episodes are unedited there. You can watch episode 1, season 1, episode 1, and season 5, episode 13 are free to watch over on Patreon starting the 29th. So, with all that stuff out of the way, Jerry's here. He's hanging out, in case you guys couldn't tell. And let's get into the recap. So, one more time, here's how we do this. We're going to do a soft recap over everything. We're going to do our in memoriam. We'll do the Jer Awards, favorite episode, favorite scene, most heartbreaking scene, favorite kiss, favorite kill, and favorite character, as well as maybe a sneak peek of the final rankings. And, yeah, final season rankings of my favorite seasons and everything. Anyways, I'm talking too much. We start the season with the 7 years in the future message. Great. Hope's still in school. This time she's selling her blood for money so she can try to visit her dad. Now, Hope selling her blood turns a kid into a hybrid named Henry, who ends up killing an innocent girl named Poppy. Hi, I'm Poppy. We learn that Klaus hasn't been in contact with her in 5 years and that he's gone mad, so to speak. Klaus keeps visiting Elijah to the point that flowers die and the water turns to blood. Marcel does a beautiful proposal to Rebecca, but she rejects him. She goes to visit Elijah, causing a chain of reactions. This leads to Hayley being taken. Klaus is headed to New Orleans, as is Marcel after the rejection. Klaus asks Marcel to help him find Hayley, which leads to Marcel interrogating the boy until he realizes Hope is the one who took her in order to bring Klaus back, to set off a major event to bring the family together. She took her, put her in a box, just like her father. Now, an exchange of words, and we go to find Hayley, and the coffin is destroyed. There's puppy dog feathers everywhere, and no Hayley. Episode 2 ends with Hayley being killed and hung, but by who? We get no immediate answer, as episode 3 was all about Elijah. What happened in the 7 years after Marcel compelled him, and his new love interest, Antoinette. Klaus came to bring him home, but Elijah learned all about his past life and is choosing again to leave it in the past. He snaps Klaus's neck and proposes to Antoinette before taking off his daylight ring and burning his past. Klaus told him something very powerful. You have the names, but you don't have the memories. Moving back to the hunt for Hayley, Klaus takes a member of each faction hostage before Vincent interferes. Marcel chains up Klaus, wanting to know his plan, which leads to Klaus and Marcel ruling side by side, father and son, brother and brother, mano y mano, putting the new rules until they can find who took Hayley and to get her back. Now, Freya tells Hope that she has the potential to be dangerous. Vincent takes a stand against Klaus, telling him if one more witch dies by his hand, it'll be war, but not against the coven, against him. In episode 5, we learn Antoinette has known Elijah since 1933, when her father, August, was pissing off Klaus at a club. August turns up to be an old enemy of Klaus, #Nazis. It's later revealed that Greta is behind Hayley's disappearance, as August was her husband, and also that a son, Roman, who's currently been making creepy eyes towards Hope, and he takes Hope to go see a witch. When we get to the house, Hayley is there. Roman doesn't know he's setting them up. He kind of is going along with his mother's plans. He doesn't really know what her grand scheme is, but he's just following her orders. Hope begs to no prevail. Roman, the boy, flash to Greta, meeting with her daughter, who is Antoinette, and telling Elijah that he is the only one that can stop his brother. Elijah don't really know. Klaus and Caroline track down Hayley, as do Vincent and Freya. Hayley ends up doing the binding spell that Freya tried to do on Hope to remove her werewolf gene. Hayley does this binding spell to remove her wolf side. She kills the witch that performed it and breaks Roman's neck. As Greta shows up, knocks out Hope with some sleeping dust. When they arrive to the house, Caroline gets her neck snapped by Elijah, and Klaus turns to face his brother. Greta, while all this is going on, there's an exchange of word. Greta gets the better of Hayley, who is just now a vampire, right? She doesn't have a daylight ring. She's a mute. The sun is a problem for her. Gets pushed up against the wall. Greta shoves her hand into Hayley's chest and grabs her heart. Klaus walks in the door. He gets stabbed. As Klaus falls, Elijah stands there. Hayley takes one glance at Elijah and whispers his name. Elijah makes eye contact with her for a second. You think he remembers, but instead he goes to check on Roman. Time slows down. This is where a lot of you guys say that Hayley may have turned off her humanity switch. Some people say different. I kind of like both ideas. Hayley knows what's about to happen. Hand around her heart. Everything's slowed down. She takes a look at Elijah. She takes a look at Hope. She takes a look at Klaus. She breaks off Greta's daylight ring, rips that finger off, tackles her out the house. Both going up in flames, both dead as Klaus and Elijah watch. Hashtag by Hayley. Episode 7 was the funeral of Hayley. As the city mourned, Klaus looked to get Ivy to astral project him there to be for Hope. Sensing danger, he knows Elijah is nearby. Snaps his neck, and he bites Antoinette and orders them out of the city. Elijah makes a deal. A cure for Antoinette. In exchange, he'll take his memories back. With a smile from Klaus, he refuses. In hindsight, he's trying to save Elijah from himself. Marcel and Vincent go back to give him his memories, go behind Klaus's back to give Elijah his memories back, but nothing. Something steals his mind. Klaus shows up in person to Hayley's funeral. Very beautiful moment, holds her hand, hugs Hope, saying it'll be the last time they can do this, because of the prophecy and shit. Freya and Keelan reunite. Big kiss, couple I love yous. Klaus hugs his daughter as Hayley's body gets struck by lightning out in the water. Them two being together is bringing in Armageddon, and the final step of this would be the death of all firstborns, including Hope. Klaus goes to leave and gets his neck snapped, and it turns out Klaus is trapped with Elijah in the Michelson house. They're in a champ de chambre, or whatever that thing was called. They have to find keys to get out. All of the Michelsons are there. Rebecca shows up. Freya is there. At one point, Marcel gets thrown into this as well, as does Cole. Hope has them trapped there while she tries to find a way to save her family from the Hollow. She wants to take the darkness from them so she can be with her family. Really, in this episode, Marcel is the glue. I need to point that out. Marcel kind of helps everybody find their key. He has a conversation with Cole while he finds his key. He goes and he helps Rebecca find her key. He goes and finds Elijah's key on his own, and Klaus ends up finding his key amongst some letters. Now, it comes down to all of them trying to find Elijah's key, which Marcel ends up doing. They end up in his brain maze, being Elijah. It takes both Klaus and Elijah to open his doors. All the other family members left. Klaus tried to abandon him. Rebecca told him to stay. They both run through the red door. All of his memories come rushing back. The pain takes over. The grief. The regret. The self-accountability. Klaus gives him blood to go cure Antoinette, and he does. But as she's healed, she thinks that she tells him she thought that she lost him. Elijah lets go of her hand and looks back at her and says the words, "Forgive me," in Elijah fashion, before turning his back and falling right back into always and forever. With Hope having all of the hollow in her now, she can hear the voices and nothing helps to silence them, other than beating the shit out of Elijah. They tried her bracelet that the old actor Summer had. Didn't work. Shit caught on fire. The city is torn at this point. Emmett orders a bombing inside of the church and the wolves. This leads to the loss of Lincina and makes Vincent choose a side. When he picks wrong, he kills Ivy. Spoiler, Ivy wakes up, though, as a vampire. She wants to die a witch to go to the astral well. Vincent shows her the astral well in its current state. And this leads to him freeing the ancestors so they can pull their magic from the earth again and no longer the well. Ivy dies and goes to peace to be with her father. Marcel is abducted and he's drained of his venom by Emmett. Josh comes to save the day in episode 10 and he's killed in the process. He ends up with Marcel's venom in his heart. Kind of irony that the person that turned him and his friend, had him in the back, or was it Klaus? Either way, had him in the back of a car, made him pick a coin. Josh didn't pick up that coin. He ends up becoming an important character. I wish he would have got more screen time. He ends up dying to Marcel's venom. He gives Marcel a kiss on the cheek. Told him he was family. And very beautiful moment. He ends up with Aiden in the afterlife. Him and Aiden finally together. Always and forever. Elijah and Antoinette team up to double-cross Emmett with Klaus, Hope, and Marcel. Hope kills everybody in the church in a badass moment, including a human upstairs. We thought it was Declan, but turned out it was old Bill showing Declan some old files, and this triggers her werewolf curse. We find out through Davina Claire, that Hope is dying, and soon. Declan wants to become the head of the human faction. Marcel agrees to guide him. Elijah remembers meeting with Hayley back in Manosk before more regret on his part for not being able to save her. Elijah tells Hayley maybe in another life, and Hayley wants one more dance with Elijah. Freya and Keelan agree to get married, a beautiful wedding with everybody there. Klaus can't bring himself to tell Hope she's dying, not after having such a beautiful day with her family at said wedding, and feeling she's a part of all. She finally feels that she's a part of Always and Forever. She gets a glimpse of what 1,000 years of that look like. Episode ends with a hug between Klaus and Elijah. Flash forward. Hope is dying, and there's no stopping it, apparently. Klaus heads to Mystic Falls, while Elijah wins over Hope in the form of dealing with some bullies, being mean to her friend, and telling stories of her father. We get a nod to Matt Donovan with the bench. We get Elena Salvatore, MD, showing that she ended up becoming a doctor. Klaus asks Caroline and the twins for help. To help take the magic from Hope and put it into him so he can kill himself with the remaining white oak that was fucking magically found. We're not going to talk about that here. Hope dies briefly and kind of sees Hayley in the afterlife at peace and happy with Jackson. She tells Hope to wake up and to tell Elijah that she's still holding out for that dance. Elijah tries to stop Klaus when he gets wind of what he's doing, but to no prevail. Klaus snaps his neck. Klaus leads Hope into the wild, and he tells her, this is what your mother would have wanted. Turn into a wolf out here. If you don't, this could take hours, but if you don't fight it, it can take moments. And Hope doesn't fight it. She turns into a wolf. And while Lizzie and Josie pull the hollow from Hope during her transformation, Klaus comes and gets the hollow magic. The darkness. Screen cuts to the logo just as he's about to dagger himself with the white oak stake. Season 5, episode 13, the series finale. As he goes to stab himself, he's stopped by Elijah's dialogue and Hope putting him to sleep. Klaus goes mad. He has visions of Cammy and of his father, an angel and a devil. His father telling him to kill the girl, show her what obedience looks like, and Cammy guiding him to do the right thing. They all search for ways to stop this, but it's time. Hope's upset because Elijah wanted to take the full curse, and Klaus says, what type of man lets another man die for his own daughter? He can't do that. This is an honorable death for Klaus in his eyes. He knows he's leaving his daughter, but she'll never have to worry about this darkness ever again, and she'll have her family. I don't agree with his decision, but it's something he wants to make. Dinner time. One last dinner, storytelling. Cole shows up after leaving earlier. Cole's here. The whole family shares stories, just like the Vampire Diary gang did about Catherine on her deathbed. They share stories and good times and reminisce and laugh and have fun. Marcel tells Hope that if she ever needs anything, just let me know. Rebecca accepts Marcel's love finally, as she proposes to him, and he's the one that says, I do. Come to find out that they've worked a deal that one day Rebecca will take the cure. And Klaus worked this deal from Caroline / Damon, if you think about it. Freya and Keelan have agreed to start a family and have a kid with the help of Vincent, who agrees to do it, that if Klaus, the madman, can do this, that he can also face his own fear. Cole accepts always and forever, and he'll return home to Davina. All the while doing those members have basically, they did the burning of the wishes. They burned their wishes in the thing, Rebecca's favorite thing ever. All the while, those members have swore to look after Hope, always and forever. Every member of the family happy. Klaus says his goodbye, finally to Rebecca. She walks off screen. He tells Elijah he doesn't want the sappy goodbye. Elijah agrees. It turns out he's going with him. Elijah snapped the white oak in two. He told him he saw the path for each of his family members and nothing for him. Granted, he could have went to Antoinette, but this was the path that he wanted. And he told Klaus that his whole life he thought that he had to redeem Klaus. Like he was going for his redemption. Klaus said, after all of this, you really think I'm redeemed? And Elijah responds with, yes, I do. Klaus tells Elijah he's not worthy of his love after all these years. These two brothers love each other through thick and thin. They take the white oak and they press it against each other's chest. And they stab each other at the same time, both panting, grunting, sobbing in a sense. Tears of joy almost, and a calming look as they both turn gray. They drift into the night sky, looking into each other's eyes. That look they shared is always and forever. The end. Klaus told Marcel that what if the darkness is just, what if this afterlife is nothing but darkness? And Elijah says, then we'll face it together. These two brothers. It's a lot of love between those two, and it's a beautiful ending. And that's season 5, and that is the series finale. And as I mentioned, we'll do a brief full recap of the show. But let's get into the Jer Awards for season 5 before we start weeping again, right? If you haven't seen that season 5 finale here on YouTube, it's a lot of tears, all right? It's a lot. Favorite episode nominees. Episode 3. Episode 5, Don't It Just Break Your Heart. Episode 6, What Will I Have Left? Episode 8, The Kindness of Strangers. Episode 12, The Tale of Two Wolves. Or Episode 13, When the Saints Go Marching In. The winner of the season 5 favorite episode of the Jer Awards is episode 13, When the Saints Go Marching In. Love the finale. Favorite scene, we have a couple here. Episode 5, Klaus and Elijah hugging in 1933. Episode 7, Freya and Keelan uniting. Episode 7, Klaus holding Hope's hand. Episode 8, all of the Michelsons together. Episode 9, Freya proposing to Keelan. Episode 10, Josh reuniting with Aiden in the afterlife. Episode 11, Freya and Keelan's wedding. Episode 11, Klaus and Elijah hugging. Episode 12, Hope telling Elijah that she still wants that dance. Episode 13, The Family Dinner. And the winner for my favorite scene from season 5 is episode 13, The Family Dinner, them all together sharing smiles and sharing laughter one last time as a full Michelson family. Granted, Finn's not there. Most heartbreaking scene, you know where this is going to go. Episode 1, Rebecca saying no to Marcel's proposal. All of episode 3. Episode 6, Elijah looking at Hayley. Episode 6, Hayley's death. Episode 7, Elijah fighting off, getting his memories back. Episode 8, Elijah getting his memories back. Episode 10, Josh's death. Episode 10, Ivy's death. Episode 11, Elijah remembering more about Hayley in that trip in Manask. Or episode 13, Klaus and Elijah's death. No time, no suspense. Most heartbreaking scene was Klaus and Elijah's death in the finale. I don't have a funniest scene for this one. While there is a bunch of stuff we laughed at, there was a lot of good moments. I didn't really put any down throughout the episode, so we don't have one for this. Same as favorite quote. I'm sure there was a bunch. I just didn't type it out throughout watching this. Favorite kiss. Episode 1, Elijah and Antoinette. Episode 9, Hope kissing Klaus on the cheek. Episode 9, Vincent and Ivy finally kissing. Episode 9, Freya and Keelan reuniting and kissing. Episode 10, Josh kissing Marcel on the cheek before he passes. Episode 10, Josh and Aiden. Episode 13, finally, after all this time, from the flashback, from the moment in the woods, we finally, you shippers out there, you get the Klaus and Caroline moment. Or episode 13, Marcel and Rebecca after the successful proposal. Favorite kiss for season 5 is Marcel and Rebecca finally accepting each other's love. We thought it happened at the end of season 4. They had to add more drama to it for some reason. Into season 5, bing bam bop. Favorite kill, there's only a few on here. Season 5, episode 1, Klaus killing the bouncer. Episode 6, Hayley's sacrifice to kill Greta. Or episode 10, Hope killing everyone in the church. Favorite kill this entire season is Hope killing everyone in the church. Finally, favorite character for season 5. There's only 2 people I could really pick between here, and that is between Elijah and Klaus. Now, the winner of the first 2 seasons by a landslide was Elijah. Season 3 was Klaus, Vincent, and Marcel. Season 4 was just Klaus. And we're going to have another tie here in season 5 with Klaus and Elijah, as it is kind of their story wrapping up. Elijah losing his memories, getting it back, seeing his life not progress without always end forever until he comes back for it and accepts it one last time, leaving Antoinette alone in Shanghai. Favorite character, but edging out Elijah just a little bit, is Klaus Michelson, because he was the big bad wolf that became the sensitive puppy dog when it came to his daughter. As for rankings, I will tell you guys that this is not my favorite finale, nor is it my favorite season. I really love the finale. It broke me. It's not my favorite one. As for season rankings, it's not my favorite season. I really enjoyed the season, but there's things I liked more from other ones. And yeah, final thoughts on season 5 was, with only having 13 episodes, things will feel kind of rushed. I feel like they kind of went back on a couple of stories and they gave us a lot of great fan service that wasn't shoehorned in. The fan service felt necessary, like Klaus and Caroline's kiss, Josh reuniting with Aiden in the end, and Elijah getting his memories back. I wish we would have had more Davina, especially in the final episode. I wish we would have had Davina in the final episode to be with that family, the one that kind of tormented her, and Klaus, the person that, he killed Timmy, wherever the fuck his name, Timmy, Tommy, Thomas, Timothy. What other T names are there? Tyrese? I don't know. Travis? All of this stuff. Trevorrow? All of this. And finally, her working with the family and having that final acceptance of her being there next to Cole as this family has their final dinner. I just wish she would have been there for it. I wish we would have had Finn in some sort of afterlife situation. We saw Aiden. If we could have got Finn back, even him standing in the corner, like hovering, smiling, watching his family eat, because in his final moments before his death, he accepted always and forever. I would have really liked that. So, season 5 was really great, though. You wish there would have been more to this story. I do wish there was more gruesomeness, more kills, more of the supernatural element. But we'll get into more of that when we kind of recap all of the originals. I will rank my favorite finales. I'll rank my favorite seasons. And of all the winners so far, we'll pick one definitive winner for each of the categories throughout the entire show. And then at some point on Twitch, I do stream super late at night. I may try to do it on a Saturday just so more people can be there. At some point on Twitch, I would like to do the rankings for the original characters. So that date is to be determined. I wish I can give it to you now so you can schedule it. But before this even hits the 30-minute mark, we're well off of it. I just want to say thank you guys for hanging out through season 5 of the originals. If you are watching this, the rankings and recaps really only happen for our super big shows. I think we did one for Invincible, but it's because it was a brand new show. It was super fresh. Nothing for the Marvel shows. The poll running, which may have already ended by the time you guys see this. You may have the results here soon. Between Teen Wolf and The 100, we will obviously have season breakdowns after those recaps, awards, and etc. If you guys would like to see any new Jer Award categories moving forward, let me know. I may make a separate video on that because this is kind of at the end of this video. Most people probably already bounced. Just want to say thank you one more time. And with that bottom part of the Jer Awards out of the way, let's do the in memoriam to talk about those that we lost, whether we love them or we hate them. Short list for this. This will go by pretty quickly. In loving memory of the club bouncer, Poppy, Henry, David, Colette / Colgate, Room of Vampires that Klaus killed, August, the August Villagers, the Binding Witch, Greta, Sienna, Hayley, Marshall, Kenner. One last time. By Hayley. The Amnesia Elijah, the version of Elijah that had amnesia. Wolves in the church bombing, Lincina. Witches at the Kool-Aid drinking contest in the cemetery, Ivy, Bill, the church vampires, that included Emmett, aka the Nazi vampires, Josh, Elijah Michelson, and Klaus Michelson. Rest in peace, every one of you. Also, real quick, in closing, there was a ton of phenomenal actors throughout this show. I'm not going to be able to mention everybody. I do have a handful of people. I just want to say, just like hats off for phenomenal acting performance that really made you buy in and believe their characters. First would be Summer, the young girl that played Young Hope, because you made us all fall in love with this tiny human, and you were so precious, and I just want to paint with you, and just everything. Just all of it was so good. Huge shout out to, I always pronounce his name wrong. I think it's Yusuf, Mr. Gatewood, that played Cole, that transitioned to his own character by Vincent. And shout out, bro. Like, crushed everything you were in. Obviously, Daniel Gillis, one of those two that played Elijah. Obviously, I loved him for the first time I seen him when he was in Spider-Man 2 as Mary Jane's little pseudo-boyfriend for a minute. And then, obviously, Joseph Morgan for his portrayal of Klaus Michelson. All very beautiful. Again, there's a ton of phenomenal actors all throughout this, but those were the ones that it's just, man, hats off. So, yeah. Also, Joseph Morgan streams on Twitch sometimes. He hasn't in a while, but I need to figure out a way to do a co-stream with him. Just saying, we'd be besties. Hashtag besties. And I'm going to go ahead and bounce now. Again, if you want to watch any of these episodes uncut, they are over on Patreon. Episode 1 of Season 1. Episode 5, Season 13 are free to watch on Patreon starting on the 29th. If not, all 92 episodes are here on YouTube. And with that, links and everything in the description box down below. Playlist up on screen. As always, stay cute, stay hydrated, and I will catch you on the next one.